Alright, so I just want to talk about Mcclung and how he saved All-Star Weekend again. But this time he put it on his best performance ever in a dunk contest. First two were pretty good, but last year was a bit down compared to 2023, where he showed off. And it was so much better than the previous years since 2020. So Mcclung saved All-Star Weekend again. Let's just talk about first the skills and the three. Skills challenge was a bit weird. They changed it back to the regular format where there's like a course instead of like a three competitions or like a shooting competition, a course, and passing. But Victor Wembanyama and Chris Paul cheated, and that was kind of funny because Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama didn't shoot the shots when you needed to shoot them, and they got disqualified. Which is they were trying to be like big brain, but they weren't. But after that, then the other teams went, and Draymond Green messed up the passes, which is kind of weird because he usually is a pretty solid passer. But he made some of his shots though. However, it was too late, and he missed a lot of passes, and they lost to the Cavaliers, who were pretty good. They went pretty fast. So skill challenge was alright. I mean, they used to have superstars in the skills challenge, and they did have pretty good players this time around, like Wemby, Chris Paul, who lost 6 times in the skills challenge. He still has not won one. Like that of Mitchell, Evan Mobley, rookies, Draymond Green, stuff like that. But I know that Bronny and LeBron were supposed to do it, but they declined the invitation. So if they have done it, that would have been really good for the NBA. But then after that, we have the 3-point contest. That was underwhelming as well. Damian Lillard did not do good. He only had 18 points. A lot of the players were not on today for their shot. They missed a lot of shots, and a lot of players got pretty bad scores compared to previous seasons. Especially Dame, who only got 18 points when he was getting high 20s before. But then Buddy Hield went crazy and dropped 31 points. So I thought he was going to win the 3-point contest when Tyler Hero only got a 24. But Buddy break like the first rack and some in the second rack. 7 shots, I believe. His first 7 shots. And then that ultimately made him lose. If he made 1 or 2 of them, he would have won. But he just could not make any in the first 7 shots. And the 3-point contest was alright. They had some good stars. But something that was not as good is that the planned 3-point shootout between NBA and WNBA players got canceled. It was supposed to be Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the teammates reuniting in Oakland versus Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark, which would have been crazy because Caitlin Clark, would have been crazy. But Caitlin declined the offer, and they couldn't really do it anymore because they already did Sabrina versus Steph last year, so they didn't want to do that again. They wanted to expand it, so they didn't do that. That was one of the biggest things last year. So hopefully they do that in 2026 in LA. At least like a shootout of some sort, because they used to do like some shootouts before, like Kevin Hart win against Draymond Green. That one was interesting. Or just like a fun event in between. Also, like before the 3-point contest, they had LiAngelo Ball do like a performance, and it was alright. I mean, they had Lonzo like introduce him, which was nice, and LiAngelo's performance was solid, and I like it that they put LiAngelo there because he was a former G League player, almost made it to the NBA, former ball player, now turned musician, and his rap was pretty good too. So I like that. And then the dunk contest. So far, the first 2 challenges were not really that good. Skills challenge and 3-point contest. So the dunk contest was the only thing left to save the All-Star Weekend. And it definitely did. Now, last year it was not that good last year because they had three dunkers who weren't as good as Mcclung. But Jacob Toppin actually was really good dunker, but they didn't give him a good score. So they gave Jalen Brown into the dunk contest finals versus Mcclung, and he had no chance. He dunked over like Kai Cenat or something, which is not really that good because Kai is not that tall. And Kai was sitting down. So, I mean, like, if Jacob Toppin went against Mcclung last year, it would have been much more fun. But this year we had another two great dunkers, Stephon Castle and Mcclung going for that three-peat. Matas Buzelis and Andre Jackson were not that good. Now, Matas had good dunks that he was going to do, but it just wasn't executed as well. His first dunk was a win, like, bounced it between his legs and then dunk it, which, if he made that, would have been really nice. I like that dunk. That dunk is really underrated. It hasn't really been done in the dunk contest before. And, like, it's really hard to do, but he also did it, like, behind a backboard, too, which was even more difficulty. So if he would have made that one, he would have been a strong case to go to the second round. And then his second dunk was a off the backboard, like a cradle reverse. It was a solid dunk. It's a hard dunk, but he just didn't like put it as like low, and he didn't dunk it with authority. So he got like a 47, but it could have been higher. And then Andre Jackson just missed a ton of dunks. I think he was planning to do a 360 windmill at first, but then he missed it. And then after that, he was trying to do a 360 off the like side of the backboard, and then he also missed that, so he had to go do some windmills, which was disappointing. But then Stephon Castle came out and did a 360 windmill first try, and it was a really good 360 windmill. That was a great dunk to start it off. And then Mcclung came, and he jumped over a car. Not just the hood of the car. The whole car with a person too. On top of the car. I mean sitting on the car. And did a reverse dunk. Now this is not even crazy. It's like borderline kind of like dangerous. Because if he lands on a car awkwardly, he could like break something or hurt himself, injure himself. But he cleared the car basically. And he dunked it reversed. And this dunk is one of the best dunks history because Blake Griffin did it, but he only jumped over the hood of the car, and he did it like a forwards dunk. But Mac did it, jumped over the whole car and a person on top, and also did it reverse. Crazy dunk. Everyone went crazy. And it is so hard to do, jumping over a car. Then after that, we go into the second dunks. Stephon Castle did a pretty solid reverse windmill dunk with two hands. I like that dunk. That's a dunk that Aaron Gordon did in his 2016 dunk contest. And that got him a 50. And it got Stephon a pretty good score as well. But then Mac came out and went up and jumped over the person, right? But instead of reversing and just do like a backwards dunk, he went and he did like a small 360 and then he dunked it home. It was crazy because he was floating in the air. It looked like he was floating, and he just turned like when he was about to fall down, and he dunked it home. That was crazy athleticism and a very creative dunk that Aaron Gordon also did over Chance the Rapper before, and that got him 50. Is a great dunk to do. And then the finals came between Stephon Castle and Mcclung. And I feel like Stephon did really good this time. He was a really good competition to Mcclung's. And Mac just went crazy. But let's talk about Stephon Castle's dunk first, because Stephon did where someone made the shot, and he did a between the legs like reverse because he did it off from the back. So he went and he dunked it. That was a really nice dunk. It should have gotten a 50, but he took too many tries. It would have gotten a 50 if he did it like first or second try. And then they could have had a dunk off. So I feel like Stephon was kind of robbed there because I would have loved to see the dunk off because these two are very talented dunkers and could have done some crazy stuff. This dunk contest is definitely one of the best since 2020 because Mac McClung actually had some opponents that were good. And then he did like a windmill dunk over a person on a hoverboard doing some homage to Aaron Gordon. And then he did dunk the windmill. But not only did he do a windmill, he also dunked another basketball that a person was holding on a ladder. Double dunk with two balls is crazy. That is super hard to do. Like you can do a windmill over the person. That's already hard to do. You usually catch the ball with two hands. But then you have to catch the ball with two hands and finish the windmill. Also think about the other basketball. Tip that in. That's a really hard dunk to do. And one thing about Mac is that he does all of his dunks first try, basically. He did this dunk first try. He did the dunk before first try. Only dunk he didn't do first try was the Kia one where he jumped over the Kia. But that was because the person holding it held it like not as good, so Mac couldn't reach it and dunk it. But this dunk is insane, like dunking two basketballs. And his last dunk, Stephon Castle did a very nice dunk, 360 behind the back, but he did it with his left hand, and that's not his dominant hand. His dominant hand is right hand, but that's really hard to do, especially if you're turning that way 360. And it's definitely hard to dunk with your non-dominant hand. And it looked very, very smooth as well. Doing that 360 behind the back reminded me of a 360 between the legs dunk that Derrick Jones did. That was very smooth. So that got a 50. And still feel like Stephon got robbed for another 50 with his between the legs dunk. But Mike McClung went with Evan Mobley, 6'11", but then added like a board that got a couple inches. So basically like Victor Wembanyama height. Could have jumped over Victor, but I don't know. That would have been crazy. But then he went up. He jumped over Evan Mobley. And then he also tapped the backboard. His head was at the rim, basically. And then after he tapped the rim, he dunked it, which is crazy. Shows how high he goes. And also, a really good thing about Mac is that he has creativity. Like, he jumps over, like, that Kia. He does some dunks that have never been done in NBA Slam Dunk Contest before, because we always say, like, oh, there's no more dunks to do left. There is still a ton of dunks to do, like, variations of dunks to do. Like, that Stephon Castle, he had two dunks that have never been done in the dunk contest ever, also. The last two dunks he did. So, this is overall a great dunk contest. Matt McClung saved the whole All-Star weekend because Ja Morant tweeted that he might decide to dunk again. And we all know that the dunk contests haven't had superstars in a very long time. Jaylen Brown competed last year as an all-star, but he is a solid dunker, but he's getting up there. We want the true dunkers, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Aaron Gordon, if he still wants to do it, still capable. I saw Zach LaVine have like a TikTok where he still did like a crazy dunk, even though he's getting up there in age. Shaden Sharp is a great option as well. Just a ton of great dunkers that we have never seen before in dunk contests that are really good at dunking. Like even Giannis quote tweeted that tweet and he said maybe he'll do it too. But hopefully that's not cap, which usually it is. Like you remember LeBron saying in 2009 that he was gonna do the dunk contest and he never did it. Like Ja Morant said before he was never gonna do it. But Mac McClung, who isn't like, he's going crazy right now. Dunk contest three-peat. Of course, we want the superstars to dethrone him. Like, superstars used to be competing in dunk contests. Like, you see in the 80s, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Julius Erving, Clyde Drexler, Ron Harper, like Larry Nance also. Like, just a ton of all-stars and superstars were competing in these dunk contests. But now, they're not competing as much. So hopefully they do next year, and it will be one of the best dunk contests ever with some really good names. That's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.